Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. If you enjoyed today's video, please show your support by hitting that like button. Lately, there's been a noticeable spike in reports, leaks and rumours surrounding the upcoming generation of gaming consoles, specifically the PlayStation 6. While it appears that we're still a couple of years away from seeing the PlayStation 6 on store shelves, tech insiders and leakers have already started to paint an early picture of what we might expect in terms of performance. One of the more notable leakers came from YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead, who has a history of reporting on tech, hardware and performance speculation. In a recent video, he shared some early estimates about raw performance of the PlayStation 6. According to his analysis, the PlayStation 6 could offer up to 3 times the rasterization performance of the base PlayStation 5. To put that into perspective, that kind of performance would place it roughly in line with Nvidia's GeForce RTX 4080, a high-end graphics card that's currently part of the premium PC gaming market. Moore's Law is Dead also added that when it comes to ray tracing, a feature that allows for more realistic lighting and shadows in games, the improvement might be even more dramatic. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, these estimates suggest that the PlayStation 6 could be 5 to 10 times faster in ray tracing operations compared to the PlayStation 5. If this turns out to be accurate, we're talking about a massive leap forward in visual fidelity, especially for developers focused on immersive, graphically intense games. However, these are not the only predictions floating around. Another source, Kepler L2, an insider with ties to AMD, has offered a slightly different view. And according to Kepler L2, the PlayStation 6's GPU performance will be closer to AMD's Radeon RX 9070 XT, which is AMD's current top-tier graphics card. That still puts the PlayStation 6 in a very powerful position, but Kepler L2 believes that the next generation Xbox will edge out the PlayStation 6 slightly in terms of raw power. He compares the future Xbox's performance to that of Nvidia's GeForce RTX 5080. Both of these next generation consoles will reportedly be built on AMD's RDNA 5 architecture. This is expected to be a major overhaul, the most significant change since the graphics core Next era, which was AMD's foundational architecture for many years. According to Kepler L2, RDNA 5 won't just bring better performance, it will also introduce new features that may even surpass what Nvidia is offering in their latest architecture known as Blackwell. Kepler L2 backed up some of the recent claims by referencing a handful of AMD patents which point to advanced new capabilities in areas like AI acceleration, upscaling technologies and memory management. And if you're curious, a link to those patents is available in the description of this video. It's also worth remembering that Microsoft previously teased that their next Xbox would bring the largest technical leap ever in console history. This statement was made about a year and a half ago, and while we haven't heard much since, it shows how serious both Sony and Microsoft are about pushing the limits of gaming hardware in the next few years. However, that being said, these consoles are still 2 to 3 years away from release. Now, I say unfortunately because I would like to have thought that the PlayStation 5 Pro would still have had at least 3 to 4 years worth of life in it before the next PlayStation comes out. But regardless of the fact whether the consoles are 2 or 3 years away, I'm still going to be getting it. I just would have liked another 3 or 4 years with the PlayStation 5 Pro before moving to the next generation consoles. And we're not likely to get any official confirmation from Sony or Microsoft in the immediate future. But as always, I'll be keeping an eye on the leaks and rumors, and we'll be sharing updates as more information comes out. What I find interesting though is the rumor about the next Xbox console being slightly more powerful than the PlayStation 6. I mean, given the current state of Xbox hardware, I'm not really too sure what to make of this. I mean, who's going to buy it? I don't know. What do you guys think? I know the next gen consoles are not just going to be about raw power. We've seen that narrative before, and it's not raw power that will sell the consoles. It's always going to be the games available on the platform that will shift the consoles. But do you honestly believe the next Xbox console will be more powerful than the PlayStation 6? Guys, let me know in the comments and let's move on. There's been a lot of talk lately around Grand Theft Auto 6. New reports and predictions are hinting at some major changes when the game finally launches, and it looks like GTA 6 is going to be one of the most expensive and most ambitious games ever made. Let's start with the pricing. According to gaming analyst Michael Pachter, who is an analyst at Wedbush Securities, GTA 6 might not follow the usual $70 pricing we've seen with most new-gen games. Instead, he believes Rockstar could be setting the price at $100. Now, that might sound like a lot at first, but Pachter says that the game will still sell incredibly well. In fact, he expects it to generate over $10 billion over its lifetime, plus another $500 million a year from GTA Online. And given Rockstar's track record, that's not an unrealistic prediction. GTA 5 made similar headlines when it launched and has continued to earn revenue years later, largely thanks to its online component. Pachter also estimates that GTA 6's development budget might hit around $1.5 billion, which would make it one of the most expensive games ever developed. Louise Woodridge, a senior analyst at Analysts, backed up that claim and said that GTA 6 is probably the most anticipated game of all time. That kind of hype brings huge expectations and huge costs. People might be asking, so why the high price then? Well, the industry as a whole is dealing with rising development costs. These games are getting bigger and more detailed and take much longer to make than ever before. Earlier this year, another analyst, Matthew Ball, mentioned that there's growing hope within the industry that GTA 6 will pave the way for higher priced premium games, possibly setting a new standard for AAA pricing. And it doesn't just stop there. Joseph Chapman from Convoy, a venture capital firm, predicted that GTA 6 could pull in $7.6 billion in revenue within just the first 60 days after launch. That's an insane number, and if it's even close to accurate, that makes the $100 price tag a little easier to understand. Although, something to throw into the mix, recently Microsoft backtracked on its decision to increase all of its upcoming games from $80 back down to $70, and likewise the chief and head honcho at Borderlands 4 also backtracked down to $70. I will add though that GTA 6 is a once in every 10 years or so, once in every decade kind of game. So not to advocate for $100 games, but if anyone can pull it off, it will be Rockstar with GTA 6, and people will continue to buy the game. Like I said, you're not getting a sequel of this game now. You're not getting GTA 7 until 2035, 2036, 2037, right? These are once in every decade types of games. So if they can do it, they will do it, especially if they can get away with it. If anyone else does it though, they will face the same backlash as Xbox and Borderlands did, with gamer backlash and poor pre-order numbers. I just think GTA 6 will bring so much hype that if anyone was ever going to spend that kind of money on a game, then it would be on a GTA or a Red Dead Redemption, let's say. Another interesting bit of information about GTA 6, Sony engineers are reportedly helping Rockstar optimize the game to run at 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 Pro. This could be a sign that Rockstar is taking performance very seriously, especially considering how detailed and ambitious the game is expected to be. Now, aside from price and performance, there is another topic making the headlines, and that is age verification. A well-known Rockstar leaker who goes by the name of Tez2 shared some details recently about the changes coming to GTA Online. Based on those leaks, Rockstar is getting ready to roll out mandatory age verification checks for players wanting to access online features, starting in the UK and likely expanding to other regions later. And these checks are not just a Rockstar decision, they're part of new online safety regulations, particularly here in the UK, where the Online Safety Act has introduced stricter rules for digital platforms. Websites dealing with adult content, as well as services like Discord, have already started asking users to confirm their age. So it makes sense that Rockstar would have to follow suit with GTA Online. Screenshots shared by the leaker show that players will see a pop-up message asking them to confirm their age before getting into multiplayer modes. And while this update is being tested with GTA 5's online service, many believe it's actually laying the groundwork for GTA 6's online launch. There's also a strange and funny twist to this as well, because some PlayStation 5 users have found a workaround by using Norman Reedus' face from Death Stranding 2 in photo mode to pass the facial expression checks that these systems are using. It's a creative workaround, though obviously not what Rockstar or regulators had in mind. Still, with GTA 6 expecting to offer a massive online experience, much like GTA Online has done for GTA 5, it's very likely that these age checks will be baked into the game at launch. Rockstar has confirmed that GTA 6 is set to launch on May 26, 2026, which means we're about 10 months away from release at the time of this recording. It's a long wait, but given how much effort Rockstar seems to be putting into the game, both in terms of technology and content, it makes sense that they want to take their time and ensure that the game is fully optimized before release. After all, this is the next chapter in one of the most successful game franchises ever made. Whether or not you agree with the $100 price tag or the age checks, there's no denying that GTA 6 is going to be a landmark release in gaming history. So guys, let me know your thoughts on the details of GTA 6 and let's move on. So Starfield is rumored to be getting major gameplay changes ahead of the PlayStation 5 release. Now, while Starfield had a lot of hype behind it, the reality was a little more mixed. Fans had high hopes, and although Starfield isn't a bad game by any means, many players felt it fell short of its full potential, especially when it came to the space exploration experience. But this is where things might be changing. According to new rumors and findings from dedicated members of the Starfield community, there may be some big gameplay changes on the horizon. And these changes could be part of a larger plan to bring Starfield to the PlayStation 5, a move that's been heavily rumored for quite some time now. So what exactly is changing in Starfield? And the clues regarding this change point towards new ship travel features. Recently, fans digging through the game's code came across something interesting. References to a system called Cruise appeared, and it seems to be connected to how ships move through space. While there's no official confirmation from Bethesda just yet, the speculation is that this cruise system could be part of a revamped planetary travel mechanic. If true, this would address one of the biggest criticisms players had with Starfield, and that was the lack of immersive or seamless ship traversal. In its current form, space travel often feels like a series of cutscenes and loading screens rather than a continuous explorative experience. The idea of flying between planets in real time, or at least having a more interactive form of navigation, is something fans have been asking for since day one. Adding a system like this could drastically improve the way Starfield feels, especially on a platform like PlayStation 5, where expectations for polish and fluidity are very high. These discoveries and rumors are starting to make more sense when you look at the bigger picture. There's been growing rumors and reports from within the gaming community that Bethesda is preparing a PlayStation 5 version of Starfield, which would mark a major change for the game, especially considering it was initially branded as a key Xbox exclusive game. The first expansion, Shattered Space, was released back in October 2024, but it didn't land well with players or reviewers. Many felt it didn't go far enough in fixing the game's deeper issues or offering meaningful new content. But since then, Bethesda has been pretty quiet about what's next. But that silence could be because they're working on a more substantial overhaul, something that repositions Starfield for a new audience and gives existing fans a reason to return. Some reports suggest that a PlayStation 5 release could happen sometime in 2025, with a second expansion currently targeting spring 2026. Other reports suggest the game will be coming to PlayStation 5 in early 2026, which is in line with the second expansion and an opportunity to sell the game full price with both expansion packs bundled in. Either way, it would make sense for Bethesda to use this opportunity to roll out significant updates to the game, possibly in the form of a next generation re-release that comes bundled with quality of life improvements, gameplay enhancements, and updated mechanics like the rumored ship cruising system. This sort of strategy wouldn't be entirely new. Other developers have gone back to rework their games after a rocky or terrible start. A well-known example, of course, is Cyberpunk 2077, which had a rough start but gradually turned things around through steady updates, DLC, and a next-gen overhaul. Bethesda might be aiming for a similar kind of redemption arc, not because Starfield launched broken, but because it didn't quite live up to the scale and promise that many had expected from the studio that created Skyrim and Fallout. If Starfield does come to PlayStation 5, it could be a much more polished and feature-rich version of the game. That means new players could get a significantly better first experience than early adopters on Xbox did, and returning players might be tempted to start fresh on a new platform. The PlayStation 5's hardware could also help take full advantage of any new feature or graphical improvements, especially if Bethesda optimizes the game for performance and visuals not only for the base PlayStation 5, but also for the PlayStation 5 Pro. And if the studio manages to smooth out gameplay, deepen the RPG systems, and make space travel more engaging, Starfield could finally become the deep sci-fi sandbox sandbox that so many people hoped it would be from launch. Whether you're a fan who bounced off the game early on or someone who's been waiting for it to arrive on PlayStation, Starfield might be getting a second chance to shine. And if they get it right, we could be looking at a very different game than the one that launched in 2023. So guys, what do you think of this? Could Starfield be on track for a major comeback? I've mixed reviews in the comment section as you guys comment. Some are pro for the game, some are against the game. Some people say they would pick this up on PlayStation 5. Others are saying, well, it's not all that. So for me personally, if this gets the expansions, the full game on disc, and it's optimized for PlayStation, then I will pick it up and I'll play it when I have the chance and the opportunity to dive into it with all these games coming out. I'm not sure when that opportunity will be, but yeah, I think it's something I'm interested in picking up. Anyway, would you play it if it hits the PlayStation 5 with these improvements? Let me know in the comments and let's move on. We have a brief update on Mafia: The Old Country, the latest entry in the long-running Mafia franchise developed by Hangar 13. Is going to be more than just a return to form. It looks like it's going to push technical boundaries, especially if you're planning to play this on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Hangar 13 has confirmed that the game will fully support the PlayStation 5 Pro at launch, offering a range of enhancements over the standard PlayStation 5 version. Now, this includes higher dynamic resolution in both quality and performance modes. Players can also expect variable refresh rate support, which helps reduce screen tearing and improve smoothness during fast-paced gameplay, along with full compatibility for 120Hz displays, perfect if you've got a high-end TV or monitor. And for those who prefer smoother frame rates over visual bells and whistles, performance mode aims to deliver steady 60 frames per second, making gameplay feel much more fluid, especially during combat or while driving through the street. So really looking forward to the Mafia. Not long to wait now before we get to experience this game. It is a shorter game, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'd much rather prefer quality than quantity, if you know what I mean, with this game. So let's move right along. Battlefield 6, the next entry in EA's long-running military shooter franchise, is finally getting closer to launch, and we've just heard from the development director Anna Naravek, who gave a few interesting updates in a recent interview with GNN. One of the biggest takeaways is that AI bots will fill empty multiplayer slots whenever the server is not full. So if you're jumping into a match and there are not enough players online yet, the game will automatically drop in AI-controlled bots to keep the gameplay flowing. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Let me know, guys. What are your thoughts on use of AI bots in online multiplayer game? Now, Battlefield and their team go on to say that this is a design choice that some players might find controversial. The Battlefield formula is built around large-scale warfare, and a half-empty server can make those massive maps feel lifeless. With bots keeping things active, matches can stay intense and engaging, and of course, as more real players join the game, they'll replace the bots in real time. So I do get why Battlefield 6 would want maps that are full. Of course we want full maps. I mean, nobody wants to play in empty maps, right? But every time I take someone out in a game, like I mentioned, every time I take a headshot, I'm going to be asking myself, was that a bot or a real person? Naravik also touched on post-launch content, and there's good news for long-time fans of the series. She confirmed that classic maps will be returning, including the popular Firestorm map, which will be added at a later date. Now, the dev team is paying attention to fan feedback and planning to reintroduce beloved locations based on what the community wants to see. That means a nice blend of nostalgia with modern updates. One of the features Naravik personally highlighted was the improved tactical destruction. She explained how this feature adds more strategy to the gameplay. Imagine a building collapsing mid-fight. It doesn't just look pretty cool, it changes the layout of the battlefield. Suddenly, you've got new sightlines, new flanking routes, and more creative ways to outmaneuver the enemy. It brings back that classic battlefield chaos that we all fell in love with many years ago, but with more control and deeper tactical possibilities. We also learned that quarterly updates are planned post-launch, which shows EA's commitment to keeping the game fresh over time. The open beta for Battlefield 6 officially starts on Saturday, August 9th, but if you're already signed up or pre-ordered, you'll get early access starting tomorrow. And if you haven't signed up yet, now's the time. The full game is set to launch on October the 10th, just a couple of months away. Personally, I've already signed up for the beta and I can't wait to jump in this weekend and also again in a couple of weeks' time when they go for the second beta weekend. Whether it's the bot systems or returning maps or the new destruction mechanics, I'm excited to give this game a try and I can't wait to try out this beta weekend. Let me know if you've signed up for the beta playthrough this weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the content discussed in today's video and I'll catch you on the next video.